woke up feeling disappointed, but it inspired me to write this. It's been a while since the last time I felt like this. Something lit the fire. As the coals begin to burn slow, the flames go and turn into a raging inferno. Brought a couple bars and the pages charred quickly, so I took a fire extinguisher in the booth with me. Occasionally, I gotta write with no pity, and I'm feeling like I could ignite this whole city. With just the right mix of desire and drive, we gon' rise. And homeboy, I'm feeling so alive, yeah. Counting myself out more than a couple times. Probably overreacted to more than a couple rhymes. I didn't mean to complain, that wasn't my intention. I was feeding for change, it felt so uninventive. And then I put the mic down and shifted my attention. Reached out to some friends and created honorable mention. I show the utmost resilience, and I'ma keep building until the whole world's got their hands to the ceiling. Until I see a fan point at me and say, damn, he's brilliant. I'ma keep spilling these rhymes and try to reach the minds of these children until I am the focus of a record label's millions. So get ready for a long ride, cause every song I've ever composed, it's been from my heart and my soul. There's not a fake gimmick living inside of these bones. I get higher than most, while the rest go and dumb it down. I made a little name in the underground, but not quite enough to come to town and draw a crowd, but enough to make my mama proud. Mission accomplished, yeah. Look, and my decision to drop this was not about y'all, not about money, not about applause. It was not to get famous and not to pull frauds. It was all about moi. So this is not about y'all, not about money, not about applause. This is not to get famous and not to pull broads. It was all about moi.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Apollo Show. I got with me a special guest today. This guy goes back in the Minneapolis hip-hop scene a lot of years. He's a legend, living legend is what I'm gonna call him. He's Big Jess, you know what I'm saying? He's been putting it down for the community for a long time, representing Minnesota lovely on the hip-hop scene. So, you know, Jess, I'm gonna let you take you here. Tell us a little bit about yourself so the audience can get familiar with you.
Yeah, I'm old for sure. Oh man, I just I've been making music ever since I was a little boy, and hip hop spoke to me in about 5th grade, and it's had a hold on my soul ever since. So it's been a long time. I make music, I engineer, I make beats, I kind of do the whole spiel, man. So it's something. It's a switch that I can't turn off. So that's what it is for me.
Minneapolis born and raised, right?
Well, I moved to Minneapolis in '85 when I think I was 9. So we did a little moving around in the suburbs, like Miles View, New Brighton kind of thing, and then we settled in the house my mom's still at in '85.
Right. Okay. So who was some of your influences, you know, music-wise, you know, that kind of contributed to your style and, like, you know, your just stuff you like to hear?
Yeah. Cool J, Special Ed, Slick Rick, like kind of that golden era, what they call it. Big Daddy Kane. Those are probably a few of my favorites right there.
Right. Yeah, that was dope hip hop. So were you more into the East Coast rap, West Coast rap, or was you kind of like all over the place?
I think I was all over the place, but it started more with the East Coast stuff, obviously, because it originated there. But yeah, no, I love Pac and E40. You know what I'm saying? Like I dipped in a little bit of everything. I probably liked the East Coast a little bit better, but yeah, a little bit of everything, man.
Right. Okay, so with this channel that I'm doing is I'm kind of like having conversations with people from different backgrounds and different ethnicities, and the purpose of it is to get people talking, get people coming with each other, and also hearing conversations from other people that's been doing this for a while, like, we kind of grew up in a more diverse background. A lot of people didn't get that experience. So
Right.
it's like me and you having conversations, other people can see this and they help contribute to the betterment of, human races, issues that's going on, especially right now. And so like
Yeah.
the way I'm gonna go with this, the question I want to ask you is like, so hip hop is normally predominantly a Black genre for years. It was that way, but it's obviously evolving now. So tell me, the beginning when you first started rap, how were you accepted? What was the good and bads about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, I was, but it was tough.
Right.
I remember doing some talent shows, even at like Edison, man. Like it was weird because it was like, you would see dudes on stage and then doing whatever they were doing. And then I was like, man, I want to do that too. So yeah, it was a little bit of a shock when I'm saying when people saw me get up on stage. And even later on, like after high school, I remember doing a talent show and like I had a cheesy line in one of my raps. I said, I bet you didn't know this white man could flow. And I put my shades, I had glasses on. It was so stupid. But like it was dead silent, bro, when I said that. And then they kind of laughed a little bit. But like, yeah, I mean, it was difficult. But
Right.
me being me, if I put my mind to something, I'm gonna stick with it no matter if people are feeling me or not. So yeah, it was a little different back then.
Right.
Yep.
So how did it evolve over the time?
It got a lot different. And like once me and Mike started kind of I'm in a group called the Unknown Prophets, and once me and Mike kind of got on the scene in probably like 98, 99, 2000, somewhere in there, the underground scene here was bubbling, and it was a blend of just everything. Like it wasn't just like predominantly anything at that point.
Right.
It was weird though when I think back about it, man. It's like the crowds were mostly white people.
Right.
It's weird, you know what I'm saying? And a lot more rappers started to come out that were white. And I don't know what other scenes were like across the country, but here it was just like it felt like just a big box of crayons. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dope. It was like if you could rap and you were dope, you got respect at that point. And if you weren't, you had a tough time. If you weren't dope, you had a tough time. Put it that way.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Was
really
you with the brother?
spot.
Was you with the Brother Ali era? Was you around that area? Did y'all come up at the same time? Right.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that scene. Toki Wright and all them.
Yeah,
that was a really dope scene. Really dope scene, man.
Nothing like it. For me, it's just like my golden era. Like trying to come up and earn your spot and earn your respect in there was, like I say, it was difficult. But once you did, man, it was just a rush. You know what I mean?
Right. Because think about those guys lyrically, they didn't play. You couldn't bring no garbage bars to that scene, man.
Oh hell,
you couldn't do it.
No,
you couldn't do it.
There was a lot of rappers, but now where everybody like there's like literally like no fans anymore. Like fans are rappers now. But like back then, it was like there was a select few who either hosted events or were just kind of the dominant players in the scene, and you had to be special in order to gain a spot, for sure.
Right. So when you came to Minneapolis, you kind of got more exposure to diversity. So did that help with your success in the rap game and just in life in general, just being around such a diverse group of people, different nationalities and stuff?
I was thinking about that earlier and how I was going to answer questions like that, bro. I was even out in Mounds View, just when I was a little kid, man, I didn't care. I didn't care what you look like. And I don't know why. I can't explain it. Like I was an only child, and my mom was my parent. I just gravitated towards good people, and she was never like, you can't hang around these type of people. You can only, you know what I mean? Like it was just a different situation for me. I just always gravitated towards good people, period.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even before I moved to Minneapolis, I was hanging around whoever, you know what I mean? And, but yeah, definitely once I got to Minneapolis, it was different. It was naturally like just a big bowl of everybody. And like I say, I just, being that young, I wasn't like, I got a friend who's black. I got a friend who's whatever. It was just that's my boy. You know what I mean? Where now it's like really like you really realize that when you get older, because I don't know why it's such a big thing. Like this race thing is such a big thing, but like when you're kids, you just don't realize that.
Right. Now, I've never got that bad energy off you. And, I know you since high school or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, you've always been like, that's Jess. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it ain't like, and it, like I said, our high school was super diverse. That's one thing I'm glad that I went through. It was so, I mean, we had Russians on down. We had
Yeah.
everything at Addison,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
And so that helped us, you know, have a different type of heart. That helped us to be able to see people's character and spirit than rather than using color lines, which is what is being pushed nowadays. So it's like, we kind of got that advantage over people, man.
For sure. I do think it definitely helps. Because I've got friends and, you know, coworkers or whatever through the years that maybe were raised in Plymouth or something, you know what I mean? Where it's
Right.
not very diverse, where they, in their household that they grew up in. And I feel bad for them because they weren't exposed to everything, you know what I mean? Like we were exposed to everything.
Right.
The one thing that does kind of hurt me and bothers me is some of the people that we went to school with that grew up in the city that have these views that you would think that they were raised in the suburbs or something. I'm like, how can you see it like that? Because you were supposed to have friends that, you know, I knew that certain dudes that had friends that, you know, were black people or whatever, and they just act like they never had black friends. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what happened to you? So there, you know, it does help when you're exposed to everything, but sometimes some people just form their own views and that's just the way they look at things, and you can't change them. It's very frustrating to see that.
Right. Because like
some people, I'm sorry to cut you off, but especially some people that I was cool with, and then you get older and 20, 30 years goes by, and you're like, that's who you really were. Like I'm just completely blown away by some of that, man, and it hurts, man, for real.
And you know what? The politics that a lot of people expose themselves with their real beliefs for, because it's like it's different between having political beliefs, but then like you're having like hatred towards certain people that people never knew you had. It was just like it's a couple of people I don't speak to this day, just because when they got older, I realized I'm like, dang, I didn't think you was that type of person, but really you had these type of thoughts inside of you that's super weird. But what I think is too is that people have life experiences and they don't know how to heal from it, and they take and go to an extreme with how it affects them, and rather than looking at it for what it was, it's like, okay, this was just a bad experience with a bad person, not a bad experience with a black person. You ain't got to add that part into it, or a bad experience with a white person. You got to just say, okay, that was just a bad experience with and a lot of people can't, analyze stuff like that. And I think that plays a part in it too on people's development as far as, race relations and stuff. So
for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But so before we wrap this up, you got any advice you can give to this audience of, how you think we can kind of break these barriers down and kind of get people back to just, being around each other based on character?
I do. The main thing, I think that people all need to take a step back and put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That's it. It's like, it could be a golden rule. It could be just a rule to live by, because the main thing I think with people is, and it's easy to do. Like, I'm not saying it's not easy to do, but say even like Texas right now, right? So Texas is not our weather, but it's not affecting me, right? So I feel bad for him or whatever, but it's not affecting me. So I'm gonna just dismiss it as it's not affecting me right now. But you can't. You have to put yourself in a person's shoes if they're going through something, and be like, what would I do if I was in that situation? And I think that people don't do that enough. You know what I mean? Where it could be anything from that, or people are like, oh, racial profiling doesn't exist, or whatever it can be. They don't take the time to put themselves in other people's shoes until it happens to them. Then they want to burn shit down. But that's the problem, is people don't take that step to be like, wait a minute, is this a real thing or not? And some people just push it to the side and say, that's not real because it doesn't happen to me. I think that's the main thing, man. I think people need to stop being so like selfish, I guess, and realize that the world isn't all about you, and there's other problems going on. And I don't have the answers either. Like you hear this white privilege word thrown around a lot, and it's a real thing, 100% a real thing. I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've had parties, when we were kids and at my mom's house, and the cops came, and the 3 people hemmed up on the cop car were my 3 black friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it. I know it exists. So, and I'm okay with talking about it. I'm okay with accepting that. Some people aren't. They just think it's not a real thing. And the people that think like white privilege isn't a real thing are the real people who benefit from white privilege, because they don't know any different, So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to talk about with people, but my main thing is like, some people just aren't willing to have that talk. You know, some people are willing to just dismiss it. And like I see people on like Facebook all the time just arguing with people about politics and religion and race stuff, and like they argue and argue and argue, and then nothing comes out of it. They just leave with the same thoughts and stances. And I don't know how to overcome that. But like I say, man, if people could just take a step and a time out and just be like, put themselves in other people's shoes, I think that would do a lot of good. I guess it's wishful thinking, and it seems easier said than done, but that's my main thing.
Right. That makes sense. Because like I said, end of the day, that kind of connects to what I feel too, is that interactions, getting a way for people to interact and, you know, communicate, even if not physically with the person, just some type of communication with someone you normally wouldn't encounter. And just like people starting to seek that out on their own as well. You know what I mean? And it's just like, because then you can get rid of those walls, just like blocking people from, you know, talking with each other. Because it's like, dude, you'll find out like way more people are cooler than what you think. And a lot of people are just, you know, the fear is just pumped in you from so many years and division, you know, so it's just like, it makes it hard for a lot of people to break down those barriers. But I just feel like, you know, that's part of the reason why I'm trying to do what I'm doing. It's just like make a platform, and there are other different activities that people can do to push that. You know, we need to get people from different backgrounds interacting, so that way we can start trusting each other and then lifting each other up and living on this earth as a family like we're meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the thing, is you got to talk and you got to get uncomfortable about things.
Right.
That's it. You got to get out of your comfort zone. And I hate getting out of my comfort zone. I hate it.
Right.
But you have to do it in order to grow, period. You know?
Right. Just like lifting weights, man. You got to be uncomfortable. You want to get buff. You know what I mean? It's just the same thing, dude. To get strong, you got to be uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So anyway, send out your social media in that video. I'm going to play that video you sent me in the beginning of this. So, you know, I'm going to, you know, send out your social media, albums, any upcoming events, performances, anything, you know, anything, your business, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just bigjessmusic.com. That's pretty much where you can find everything.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, that's probably the main thing. I would say, check that out. Yeah.
Okay, so it's all in one. Okay, well, that works. And man, I thank you a lot for the conversation, man. And like I said, I knew what type of brother you was. I knew what type of brother you was. That's why I reached out to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you still got the same heart, and you know you got a lovely family. I'm glad you're still out here doing it, man. God continue to bless you. God continue to bless you, man. And you always been a homie. And like I said, man, thanks you for contributing and all that good music to the Minneapolis scene, man. We really love what you did for the city, man.
Appreciate you, E. Much love, man.
All right, man. You have a good night, bro.
You too.
All right.